mechanisms of how we release in the base movement and the feelings of your body. Okay, when you do the number 5 exercise, your heels are in line. So this foot is only turning an inch or 15 degrees. Okay, when I say 15 degrees from this straight line and this angle, it's only 15 degrees. Okay, this is a narrow bow stand. Okay, in the form, you have narrow bow stand in the first ward off. Okay, then you have narrow bow stands in the shoulder stroke. Okay, in the shoulder stroke, in the diagonal, in the embracing the tiger back to the mountain, in the diagonal sink waves, and the fairly shutters. Okay, when your stance, your bow stand is shoulder width, then this foot is 45 degrees in. Okay, but in both cases, your front foot should be straight on the exterior sole, not this way. But the knees always be in line with your big toes, not this way. If you feel the inside is not in connection, that means you're pushing too far out. The knees in line with big toes, and in both cases, your back knee should not collapse in. If your back knee is collapsing, then you won't feel the connection here. The back knee will stay in line with big toes. Okay? In moving forward, backward, the knee doesn't waver forward and backward. So if you feel my knee here, you put a hand, just hold my knee here. Yeah, so that you have to stand this side so they can see. Hold my knee here. See, so when you go forward, the knee doesn't come. Go back, the knee doesn't move. The knee stays there. You drop the knee only, you release. You sit back, the knee stays in line, the knee doesn't move sideways. Okay? And the front knee would come over here. When you come in position, the front knee is not going straight this way. The front knee is a bit curved into the directions of the big toes. Okay, not straight. Okay, thanks. Your knee movement, the back knee movement, okay, when you move into positions, when you're back foot, you don't rock forward this way. You drop, and you don't both feet, this knee are dropped. Okay, once are in the middle, you have to release, there's a release of the force. Okay, that movement of release, initially you practice by pushing the feet against the floor, back foot against the floor, to create this movement, But in the end, the release is by letting go of the dropping, and you feel it rebounds up. Not consciously push the feet against the floor, but you feel it letting go the compressions, then this will have a small movement. It's only a very small movement, but the movement must not affect the hips coming up. Okay. Come here, put the hands on my thigh and my hips. Okay, I want you to watch. If you can't see, you have to adjust yourself, because I can only stand in this position. In the release, your thigh here doesn't go forward this way. It doesn't go forward, okay? And the hip doesn't go up. So you don't end up in this position. If you go in this position, then your hips are not level. You lose the connection back foot, the hips were in this position, not this position. So you watch here again, drop. Okay, when you first learn, you have a very small push. That push should not affect the movement of both hips coming up. Both hips still stay seated. Okay, in the end, you just let go the drawing, and this movement will come. It's only a very small movement, and hips must stay down. Okay, and when I sit back, okay, put 2 fingers on my knee. After the release, when I sit back, the knee doesn't drop like that. If your knee drop, how can you go forward? You're pressing down onto your knee. No. You release. What I do is, this movement here, if I do the number 3 exercise, the knee doesn't drop. That's like number 3 exercise. So you go back, You feel the ground, the back foot draws you soften both hips, the back legs will be number 3 exercise. Okay, if you look from the front, if I take a bow stand, so obvious to you, drop, release, finish. No such movement. And when this is happening, the front, hips and thigh doesn't have this movement, doesn't have the movement. This stays down. Then when I go back, you watch my thigh here, watch my hips here, it doesn't come up this way. When it comes up, you disconnect. Okay? The hips soften, the thigh position change, the front knee relax, you goes back. So this knee doesn't drop. Okay, the bend knee doesn't drop. Okay, that's how you move in position in the release. And then in the using the force. The same thing here, this is like number 5 exercise. Draw your both feet, absorb the force, release. You don't do this. Release. Okay, when this is happening, when the release is happening, okay, this stays down. So if I do the exercise you watch, you don't have this kind of movement. This doesn't come up. Okay, this movement is only a very small movement. Okay, then what happens is your body is not doing this. Your body is relaxed at the moment of release. Okay, so I draw in, then have a release. My body relaxed. Of course, by looking at me, you won't see what happened in my body. Okay, but I will let you feel what happened in my body. Wolfgang came from here. You put the hands on the back here, touch lightly, and put the hands on my body. Okay? First, I goes in, just touch the field. Right? I don't hold the upper body. The body have relaxed. Feel that? When I release, this doesn't close up. You have no way of letting go in the release. Okay? When I sit back, again, I don't hold on. You feel when I sit back, again, I don't know way of letting go. Okay? Thanks. Then you ask, how can you have another way of letting go? In going in, another way of letting go when you release, another way of letting go when you sit back. This is the same question I asked my teacher. Okay? My teacher says, just visualize it, imagine it. When you use the mind to visualize, imagine it, then one day you feel the movement come. You feel, oh yes, I actually can let it go here. I actually can let it go here. Then you feel it, I actually can let it go here. And then you try again. Then you don't feel it, you don't feel it again because you try too hard. So cultivate it, then the movement will come, then slowly it became consistent. Why you need to go in and relax? Okay? Because when you draw in, you are thinking you must be in subtension. Okay? So the person doesn't feel that we are coming in. Okay? It became boring.
Who do you want?
No, I just try to remember the name. Stefan.
Roland, Stefan. Yeah.
The Stefan.
That's Stefan.
Stefan, the one with the glasses, Stefan.
That's
Right?
Stefan.
Come over here. Okay? You come beside me. No. Stefan, come beside me.
Oh, Stefan.
Yeah. Put the hands here. Put the hands here. Just don't press, just touch. Huh? You must touch me softly. Okay, like you touch your wife. Okay. Like you touch your girlfriend, not gently. Okay. You see here? That's here. Yeah. No.
Okay.
I say if I go with first I go for you feel first. Huh? I'm not doing this, I'm letting go. Feel the letting go? Feel the relaxing? Yeah. Okay. If you have force there, if I don't let go, you have a force there. You can feel me, you can feel the resistance there. But if I let go, you feel nothing. So the force is not on you. Okay. Then if I sit back, or if in the release, okay, I don't let go, I do this. Again, if I push him, he neutralize, and he come here and push me, then you have something to push. Okay. But in the release, if I soften, you have nothing to push because with force, it's taken down. That word it means in yin there's yang. Okay, in the yin there's yang. And then when it goes back, if I sit back, he push in, I'm not letting go. I'm holding on to the force, and you have something to work on. Okay, but if I let go, then push in, then in yang there's in. Okay, so you have to cultivate that. Okay, thanks. This comes from my cultivations. Okay, first you have to be able to do it in the exercise. Then, what you cultivated in the exercise, you must cultivate it in the form. So bring what you do in the exercise, bring it into the form. Then, what you do in the form, when you practice the partner work, you have to bring it to partner work. Okay. So if you can have 10% of that principles in the exercise, you have 10% in the form, you have 10% in the partner work, you'll feel the truth. Okay. But you do it differently, and then if you say you do the thing in the exercise, you didn't do it in the form, and then you do it the partner work. It's just like I go to learn the German language. I learned the basic German alphabet. Very good. Okay, but if I go to the class and have a German test, the teacher asks me to write some German words. I write Chinese. The teacher will give me a 0 mark. You're supposed to write German, right? Or if I go to the test, the teacher asks me, write me a German sentence. I write an Indian sentence. Doesn't make sense. Then the teacher said, okay, write me a story. I write a Dutch story. Also doesn't make sense.
No.
So you have to, what I'm trying to do is what you feel and experience and work on in the exercise, you might work on the same thing in the form and the same thing in the partner work. Okay, so in this exercise, when you go forward, it's not going forward this way. You draw down and sink into your own feet. So by doing that, you practice how to move in position. And when you move in position, you have relaxing and sinking the both feet. You are practicing sticking in the following. Okay, because moving forward is follow. Okay, sitting back is not follow. Moving forward is follow. Okay, what from I say, can you give me an example of following? Okay, yeah, I'll give you an example of following. Okay, Stephen Kang. You just tell me, Jin, follow me, and you walk away. You say, Jin, follow me. If you say, Jin, follow me, I go towards him, he's following. That is following, okay? When the person sits back, you go forward, that's following. Drawing back is yielding and neutralizing. If you just draw back this way, you're not taking the force into the ground, you lose a connection. When you draw back, your mind must sink to the ground back foot, you must have relaxations. Okay, if you go back in the back foot, but you don't have relaxing and sinking, then you have yielding, no sinking. Yielding means you extend the distance of the force to weaken the force. Okay, neutralizing is not only you extend the force, you make sure the force doesn't stay in the body, it's taken into the ground. Okay, you must accept the force not on the body, you must accept the force into the ground. I remember I read something that Chen Manqing says. He says that don't accept the force on your body because your body have a limited space. Accept the force into the ground. The force have a vast space to accept the force. So sinking is to accept the relaxing. Sinking is to accept the force into the ground. Okay, that is yielding and neutralizing. Okay, when you work on Tai Chi, you work on relax and loosen. You'll be relaxed and loosen. Okay, that's the first thing you work on. But when you feel relaxed and loosen, then you have to work on relax and sinking. Sinking is when you feel loosen, you let the feeling flow in the ground under the feet. Okay, that is relaxing and sinking. We give it the root, give it stability. will allow you to borrow the energy from the earth, allow you to take the force in the ground. That's why my teacher always says, the main theme of Tai Chi practice is relaxing and sinking. That is also the last lesson he gave me. Okay, when he was in the hospital, the children come and bring him back to China. He write on my palms, Tai Chi, relax and sink. Okay, when someone give you the last advice, is always a very important advice. Then in the advice, it's actually relax and sinking. That's the foundation. Okay, so, and then when you move into positions, every time you move into position, there's a release. That release is for you to practice the issue of the force. Yes?
Yeah. Question about sinking. It's not going down, it's connection.
Sinking is a mental process.
Yeah, it's a mental process,
mental
but it's
process.
not going down.
First, you have to draw, and the mind must go down into the ground.
Yes.
Okay, when you practice Vanguard position, the mind must goes down. Okay. Then in the end, moving forward, backward, going left and right, is in the mind. When your movement gets smaller, but you have to from big to small.
Okay, but if you do all these movements, it's not about up and down. Sinking does not mean down and up and down and up. It's a mental process you're talking about.
But you have to first, when you go in position, when you want to go into position means you don't go, you go into position.
Yeah.
So you must have sinking. Okay, when you release, you must also have sinking in the end. Okay, so it's a mental process. Okay, then when you stand here, if you relax the muscle, calf and thigh, if you don't see my physical movement, I'm just sinking, but you don't see it. Okay, Stephen, come here. Put hands on my thigh and my body. That's why if I go into movement where my base, like raised arms or white crane, my base and my body, my base is in position. I don't do this.
Yes.
But if what you don't see is my muscles is adjusting. See, you feel my muscles adjusting, but you don't see it. But I'm not doing this. Okay, I'm doing this. So my muscles is still adjusting. It's not that I'm not moving my base, but my base muscles, they keep letting go. Okay, thanks. That's why I'm lucky in a sense that I met a teacher that allowed me to feel him. Okay. Every time he do a movement, he asks me to feel him. And then when I feel the movement, he said feels the movement. Okay, you might not be able to do it now, but you need to cultivate it. Use the mind to feed the information. Imagine it to happen, visualize it to happen. That means you are sending the message to the body to create the movement. Right? Then in the end, the movement will come. When the body receives the message, it will come. But you need to be there. That's why I was saying that not just do your movement, experience the movement. In the experience of movement, you have to visualize all these things to happen. Okay? So once I'm going in position here, you release. There's a release here. Now releasing of the force is not necessarily have to be in the arms. Okay? When you release, when you sink, every part of the body is able to release the force. Okay? When they say in the Tai Chi, they always have saying you must have explosive. Your force must be explosive. Okay? What you mean by explosive is not talking that when you release a force, you have a TNT of 20 tons. No. Explosive means the force is released in all directions. When I do this, it's not necessary only here. If you push from the side to the back, every part of the body have a force. That's the reason why they say the arm is not the arms, every part of the body is the arms. In push and pull, sometimes it's not necessary, okay, you have to issue with the arm. If the person push into your arm, you can also issue this way. If the person push into your body, you can also issue this way. Every part of the body. If I do the push here, if it comes in here, okay, because the force is Go in all directions. It's not one direction. The direction that you want the force to go is your mind direct the directions. So in this sense, in this feeling, when you release, by relaxing thinking, actually every part of the body, the force will release. You have to cultivate it in that way. Okay? Feels in that way. That is what the number 5 exercise teach you to feel. Draws in position. Experience release. Whole body relax and sink. Okay, when you release, the body is not tensing up. As the Tai Chi classic says, when you're fasting, your force must be completely, thoroughly relaxed and sink. So if I do, I magnify the movement, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. Relax and sink, completely relax and sink. But most of the time when you release the force, you want to do this. No, you need to relax and sink to connect. When I go back, watch my back legs, it doesn't come up this way. Okay? It doesn't bend any. Okay? Watch my thigh. You see my thigh position change as in number 3 exercise. But these changes must come from the feet, calf, thigh muscles relaxing to create this movement. Draw down and sink in position and release. Draws back. Okay? This also tells you that when you move, it's not the body move. The base moves the body in position. The base draws the body back. So you're not going this way, you're not going this way. Okay? Moving forward, backward, the legs draws you back, the legs moving in position. So if you have no ideas how the legs bring you forward and backward, you tell yourself, okay, this is the wheel of the car. Okay, the wheel moves the car forward, the wheel moves the car backward. Not the car bring the wheel forward, or the car bring the wheel backward. No. So then you know. Okay, and when you notice that whenever you want to go forward, your mindset is now forward. When you want to go forward, it goes down. That will bring the body in position. When you go backward, you don't push from the front foot, you relax the back legs, let you draw back. Okay, in the last minute, the last movement of the 5 exercises, you leave out your toes, you sink and bring the foot in. Sink out. So when I'm moving the foot, I'm keep sinking into this legs. So you have the stability in transitions. So in the form, when I want to step, I don't think of, I relax and sink in this foot to create movement. This foot then have stability in the movement. When I want to step back, in repass monkey, I don't go, no. I sink in this foot to create the movement of this foot, that will give me the stability. Then I draw from the back foot, it goes down. Okay, that will give the stability in transitions. So whenever you go into any transitions, you do not affect the harmony of your posture. Okay, there's no number 5 exercise. Okay, we'll go to the 5 exercise.